Hi everyone, it's Ricky from Romero Cards. I know it's been a while since I made a video and I'm sorry. I'm actually getting my master's degree and working, so it's been kind of hard to do a video, but I decided to do this short video and here we go. I'm going to be using the Concord 9th Magnolia Wreath stamp set, and we're going to be making a card from that. So basically you're going to see me stamp the image here. There are two knobs on the top and bottom to show where you are on the stamp. I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Ink. I'm not for sure the name. I actually put everything away before I actually did the video, so sorry about that also. But you're going to see me double stamp that to make sure that I get a good image. I'm going to clean off my stamp as always. And then what I'm going to do is go in after I have a problem taking the stamp off. I'm going to go in and do the outlines of this wreath as well. And this will just put an imprint or stamp one side of the leaves on the wreath. So I'm lining that up. The two knobs are supposed to help you do that. I was not aware of that until after I did the video, but now I know, so it'll be a little easier next time. I use the anti-static brush tool there to make sure that no embossing powder sticks to the card while I'm doing this. And I'm stamping it in Versamark ink, which is a sticky ink that allows embossing powder to stick to it. So once you heat it up, it actually sticks to the card. So I'm going to be using some Wow Sparkle glitter, some kind of metallic glitter embossing powder. I'm going to shake it on there, shake a little bit off. And I've learned using this embossing powder actually that I should heat the cardstock from below and not from above, because if you do it from above, it blows all the glitter out of the embossing powder and it's really not that shiny when it's actually finished heating or heat set. So you see me here a little bit off of the camera, sorry about that. But I'm heating it actually under the cardstock so that the glitter stays on the embossing powder, so it looks a little shinier once everything is done. And then I go from the top of it and just heat it a little bit to make sure everything is set, and we're good. I'm going to set this to the side. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to use the matching dies to cut this out. Now, I'm not going to show you me putting it through the machine. You guys know how to cut out things through the die cutting machine, but this die also has the notches at the top and bottom to let you know how to line it up. And this has a little white edge around the bottom, and then in the middle it even has a piece that you can cut out those pieces that are also outlined with a white line. I'm just going to tape that down, and then I'm going to use the two flowers that come along with it and just die cut two white flowers that are going to go onto the wreath. And you could probably hear my dogs tapping all over the place. Magically, here it is, all cut out. Yay! So I'm undoing this. Everything looks great. The wreath looks fine. We have the two flowers. We're going to start using the design paper, I think, is what I pull in here next. Okay, so we're gonna make the card base. Actually, I'm lying. We're gonna make the flowers first, and I'm gonna use another Stampin' Up! Ink. I think it's Berry Crush. I believe that's what it's called. Watermelon Crush, something like that. It's like a reddish pink color. And then I'm just gonna stamp the middle of the flower down into the white flower. And then I think next what I do here is actually do the sentiment for the card. Yeah. So I take the sentiment. It's also from the Concord 9th Magnolia Wreath. It says, happy holidays and to you and yours. I'm just going to take a rectangle acrylic block, and I'm going to put the stamp on each side of it, and we're just going to stamp this down. As I'm doing this, you're going to see that I actually mess up on one of the stampings. You know, we do make mistakes in the videos. I like to try to keep them in so people realize that, you know, it doesn't take 11 minutes to make a card sometimes. See, totally messed that up. This card actually took me about 27 minutes to make. I have fast forwarded the video about twice as fast as I went. So it's like 11 minutes or so. So I'm doing this from the fly. I usually try to have everything written down, but I don't have time. So I'm trying to watch the video and go through this. So we're going through the paper now. I'm cutting this at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's just a design paper, anything you want to use. And then I'm just cutting off maybe about an inch from the bottom of that. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the white cardstock with the lights on it. I don't know if you noticed, but the bottom was kind of incomplete and there wasn't a lot of lights and it looked just a little odd. And actually this card actually is pretty busy, I believe. Please let me know what you think about the card, if you think it's busy, if it's too much. I cut out the wreath leaves here using the die cutting machine, using some vellum. I did not put that on camera because it's not something you really need to see. It takes up more time in the video, and then I just have to think of more things to talk about. So as I'm fussy cutting this out, you're going to watch me do this. I've been really busy working and actually getting my master's degree in human resources. But on my free time, when I do have free time, I've been making cards, and I've had to actually make Christmas cards in bulk this year. So I make like 10 of the same card all at once. So I don't really have a lot of different types of Christmas cards. This instance, I only have 2 of these because I made the first one, and then I decided, oh, you know, this one didn't take me too long to make. I'm going to go ahead and do a video. So that's what I'm doing. I'm fussy cutting this out, just leaving a white edge around the side. And so as you're watching me do that, anyway, I've just been really busy. A lot of paper reading or paper writing, a lot of articles to read. I'm not only taking 2 classes, but I never thought that 2 classes would like drive me insane. And it's pretty much driving me insane. But at least I have the card making to actually relax and calm down. So I'm going to take that 1-inch piece and I'm going to stick it to the bottom of this 4 1/4 by 5.5 printed paper. I just used some glue runner there to do that. And then when I'm going to use some glue runner to put that onto the card base, which is Nina Solar White 110 pound cardstock. You could probably hear Azelle. I gave them a bath earlier, so they're still trying to dry off. So I attached that to the cardstock, and now we're going to start putting the card together. We're doing some 3D foam tape here. Oh my gosh, girls, calm down. Izelle's deaf, so she can't hear me. I don't know why I'm talking to her. I talk to her like she's a normal dog. But anyway, so I am paused here, not for sure why. Let's see what's happening here. I had to leave and do something. So now what I'm going to do is take the vellum leaves. I'm going to put them onto the wreath. I think what I'm doing here is just making sure everything fits, everything looks good. You know, sometimes you go back and forth, you try to readjust things and try to make things look good. So this is what I'm doing. I'm actually adding a little texture to these flowers. I'm just taking the tweezers and then bending them up. I'll do the same thing for the smaller flower. And I have a bunch of flowers by Elizabeth Craft Designs or Susan's Gardens. I think it's the same company that requires this type of technique. It's kind of intimidating, so I haven't really jumped into it. I did make one card for a wedding, and I made it out of some of these flowers, and it was really nice. But not these flowers here, but from the Elizabeth Designs. So basically I'm putting everything down. I put some 3D foam tape on the sentiment down at the bottom and placed it on the stripes. And now I'm going to go ahead and place the wreath onto the card as well. I'm going to press that down. With the 3D foam tape, if you don't press all the way down, you can actually still move your item. So that's really nice. And then here to curve this tape, I actually cut in a little piece of the middle and curved it, but then decided to cut it in the middle because I needed it to stretch out a little more. I'm going to put the vellum down on the wreath, and then I'm going to use this sentiment to hold that down at the top. And then later on in the video, you're going to see me put some glossy accents on the end of the wreaths to hold them down. And actually to cover a mistake that I had made earlier, or that you'll see. Okay, here's the glossy accents. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Glossy accents dries clear, so, you know, vellum is pretty translucent, so you can see through it. So the glossy accents doesn't really show up through too much through it. But I'm also covering up with the flowers. And what I'm going to do here is, because the glossy accents were out, I'm just going to use that. Normally, I would use a different liquid glue, but I didn't have it out, and I was just trying to get this video made. so I could get that out. Several people have asked me to make a new video, so here you go. So I'm going to put the smaller flower around the side there as well. I'm going to stick that down. And then I'm going to zoom in here, I believe, because I'm going to put some glitter enamel dots from Nuvo on here. And you always test on a separate piece of paper just to make sure everything's going to come out right. And for some reason, these did not really... They weren't as round as I'm usually used to them being. I'm not for sure if it's just because of the age of the product or not, but it still worked out. Basically, I'm placing them around the wreath to make little berries. And as you see here, a piece of the vellum is actually coming up. So it actually pulled up my glitter dot. So I had to glue that down. I put a second one there to cover that up. And I just place a few along the card. So this is basically all the card. I pat it down on the ground or on the table a little bit so that the dots kind of flatten out. But I want to thank you for watching. I thank you for keeping up with me and asking me to do more videos. Please keep doing that because it makes me want to do it. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and have a great week. Thank you. Bye.